Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live stream. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m., and we are going to kick things off the right way. On the shelf this week, the Olympians have returned because tonight we're going to spend the whole hour talking about Britannic. But first, let's see who all is here this week in the chat. We've got Moonzer, who is now Ocean Liners from History. We've got Matt. We've got Aaron. We've got Karen. We've got Max. We've got Anna. We've got a nice crowd going tonight. How has everyone's week been? Very, very long, busy week for me. So I am glad to be able to kick back and do a live stream once again. So pulling back the curtain a little bit, I actually did not get the idea for this live stream until like late yesterday evening. Believe it or not, Britannic has been in the news this week. So that gave me an idea for this week's live stream. Speaking of the models, as you can see up here, again, I've got Britannic up here at the top. That is not the Hobby Boss model that recently came out. That is the Britannic model. It's actually a Titanic model, a heavily modified Titanic model made to be Britannic. It took me the better part of all of last year to put that model together. And one of the things that I learned a whole lot about the differences that Britannic has from Olympic and Titanic. We all know the differences between Titanic and Olympic, but we don't really talk about Britannic's differences a whole lot. And when you really get down into it, Britannic has a whole lot of differences compared to her two sisters. So we're going to be taking a look at that tonight, and we're going to do that with Patroness of the Mediterranean. And but first, I'm going to read this news article to you guys that I found. So let's get in there. So here we go. This is from GreekReporter.com, and they say, according to them, dozens of artifacts from the wreck of the HMHS Britannic, including the ocean liner's Belle, which has been lying on the seabed off the Greek island of Kea for over 100 years, are to be recovered and prominently displayed at a new archaeological museum in Greece, which is odd to me because I thought the ship's bell has been missing. Someone can fact check me on that. The Central Council for Modern Monuments has green-lighted the recovery of a number of artifacts from the shipwreck. These will be preserved and displayed at Greece's Underwater Archaeology Museum, currently under construction at Piraeus near Athens. Sorry if I butchered that name. Anyway, the items set to be recovered include about 20 porcelain plates, 15 glass bottles, the vessel's bell, and its Marconi wireless system. Simon Mills, the president of the Britannic Foundation, who has also bought the shipwreck, requested the recovery of the artifacts, all of which will be showcased at a new underwater archaeology museum. I don't know why I'm struggling with that word tonight. Set to open its gates to visitors in 2026. The recovery operation expected to be carried out this month is considered groundbreaking due to the depth at which Britannic is situated, which she's not that deep. She's only 400 feet deep. I mean, they recovered things off the debris field for Titanic. I can't imagine why they would have any trouble recovering anything from Britannic. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Skip a little bit. After all artifacts are recovered, they are thoroughly cleansed and any salt debris has been removed. They will be transferred to the Fort of Underwater Antiquities facilities. There, they will be prepared for display at the new museum. Blah, 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 blah. Britannic was the largest vessel in the world at the time. Not true. It sank in November 1916, November 21st, 1916 to be exact. Blah, 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 blah. Skip a little bit. But anyway, yeah, you kind of get the gist of it. We got some more people in the chat. We've got Bry. We've got Age Forgotten. Welcome, everyone. So, Britannic House. So anyway, yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to start with. That article claims that Britannic was the largest ship in the world at the time. We know this not to be true. So let's do this. All right. So that was actually the largest ship in the world for a period, SS Imperator. So here's Britannic's stats. You can see Britannic had a gross tonnage of 48,158. Imperator, conversely, had 52,117. Imperator is also, let's see, about 25 feet longer and 4 feet wider than Britannic was. So, Olympic and Titanic, when both of them were built and they went on their maiden voyage, they were the largest ship in the world at the time of their maiden voyages. Titanic sinks, and Olympic reclaims the title of world's largest ship until 1913, when Imperator has her maiden voyage. Imperator is larger than Olympic, so she takes the title. Britannic, as we just saw, was never larger than Imperator. So at no point ever was Britannic the largest ocean liner or largest ship in the world. So I just wanted to clear that up first. Now, let's go ahead and go into what we're going to be doing here tonight. And let's see. There we go. Let's unmute that. So, Patroness of the Mediterranean. We're gonna tour the ship as she was in her ancient HMS form. Where's Britannic House? I haven't heard of that before. Never heard of Britannic House either. But Moonser has something here. Let's see. Is a historic building in Finsbury Circus known for its unique architecture and ties to the White Star Line. Interesting. I've never heard of that before. I may have to look that up. So let's go ahead and start off with Britannic. Here, we're going to take a look on the outside of the ship. We'll start at the bow and we'll work our way to the stern and just kind of going through all the differences. that Britannic had from her two older sisters. So let's go with HMHS Exterior. November 18th, 1916. So this is taking place 3 days before the mine. And let's see, it's starting us off on boat deck. We're going to go all the way forward. And we're going to start again at the bow. And this game does have a day and night cycle, so we'll see some nighttime shots of the ship as well. So here we are. Let's see. Can we get down to? Yeah, we can get down to A deck. All right. So one of the main things that we see right off the bat here. Let's go down. Is you can see here, and we've got these little information bubbles that help us out too. In a departure from the design of Olympic and Titanic, hatches 2 and 3 were extended high above the forward well deck, and stairs were added between them to grant direct access to the third-class space below. These are all on Steam. Anna's asking, where do you find these games? Titanic Honor and Glory actually made this game. This has been out since 2020. So here we get a little bit of a better view. You see, on Olympic and Titanic, the hatch here and the hatch here, excuse me, are completely separated. Now you've got this, they're conjoined right here in the middle, and you've got, like the thing says, they're raised up higher, and you have better access. This right here, crew galley skylight. This was Olympic originally did not have this. They added this on Titanic and later Britannic. So essentially to let natural light come in to the crew galley. And over here you see the two mushroom vents right here. Olympic and Titanic did not have that. So let's go see what it says. Vents like these provided simple ventilation for rooms below. Cowl vents like these provided simple ventilation. So it's just a different design of cowl vents. There's info bubbles in this one. Yes, you can see they're all over the ship too. Now, other than that, for the most part, all of this area forward of the breakwater, all three were essentially the same. And of course, on Titanic, the two lookouts spotted the iceberg from that spot on Titanic. Oh, that's a nice shot right there. Who can remember the names of the two lookouts that were on Titanic the night of the collision? Remember, there were a whole crew of lookouts, but who were the two that were on Titanic, on duty on Titanic, at the time of the collision? Does anybody remember? Smell nice, can you? Okay, let's go back up. Let's see, here's another bubble. While this B-deck promenade was eliminated on Titanic and later Olympic, it was partially brought back in for Britannic's design. For its hospital conversion, the promenade was turned into an officer's ward with beds and privacy curtains. Anna says Frederick Fleet. Frederick Fleet is the one that spotted the bird, but somebody else was in the crow's nest with Frederick Fleet. Can anybody remember? Aaron's got it. Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee. Those were the lookouts. Both of them survived, by the way. So what do we got right here? In order to distinguish Britannic as a non-hostile ship to potential enemy warships at night, Britannic was fitted with several lighting features to make her stand out. One feature was this band of green lights along B deck, and you can see the lights right here. Let's remove the bubbles for a minute, and you can see them, and they go all the way down the ship. Reginald Lee is the one, if you remember in the movie, after the collision, Reginald Lee's the one that grabs Frederick Fleet, and he's like, "Smell ice, can you? Bleeding Christ." That was Reginald Lee. So let's go up to A deck. I'm stuck for some reason. Here we go. This promenade was closed off at one end and made into a hospital ward for officers, complete with beds and privacy curtains. American Loyalist is here. We have not seen you in a long time, my friend. How are you? So let's go and take a look at A deck promenade here and see what they're talking about. So this is what they're talking about. This would extend all the way down to the end of A deck, but you can see they've walled it off here for this officer's ward, and the starboard side looks exactly the same. Now, if she would have been in her passenger configuration, again, this would extend all the way down the deck, just like it did on Olympic and Titanic. Oops, didn't want to go inside. Let's go back outside. I don't want to look at the grand staircase just yet. I want to do some more on boat deck, because there's still a whole lot on boat deck. Well, Ozzy's here. Welcome, Ozzy. All right, so let's get up to boat deck. Well, we're back on boat deck, and we're going to start off at the bridge, and we're going to look at some of the differences on the bridge. Now, one thing to point out, too, on Britannic, you can see we've got all of these Welland davits with lifeboats going all the way down the deck. In her passenger mode, she would have not had all these lifeboats. She would have only had all of the gantry davits. So she had, let's see, 1, 2, 3. She had 5 gantry davits in hospital mode. In passenger mode, she would have had 8 gantry davits. Love the title screen. Nice. So the bridge looked relatively the same. There's not much difference in the bridge, except you've got these stairs that go up on top of the bridge, which Olympic and Titanic did not have. And you've got this compass platform right here. Now, in her passenger mode, it's much larger. The walls here around the compass platform, they would have extended all the way to the edges of the bridge roof, whereas they do not do that here. But yeah, a compass platform on the roof of the bridge is not something that Olympic and Titanic had. So, and of course, here's the massive gantry davit. You can see on the port side, she did not have one. She would have had one right here had she gone into her passenger service. And another thing to point out about that is the gantry davits were actually large enough to where they could swing over to the other side. So this starboard gantry davit could swing over to the port side and pick up lifeboats on the port side, provided nothing would be obstructing it from doing so. But you can see they lined it up here with the first funnel. So in this case, it can't be done. Steve having rum. It's hot here in Arizona. So let's focus a bit on this building or this little thing right here too. So Olympic and Titanic did not have this little house. What this is this is the housing for the machinery for the first class lifts. Um, so on Olympic and Titanic, if you remember the lifts behind the grand staircase, they only went as high as A deck. Well, on Britannic, they lifted them to where they could go as high as boat deck. So they had to put the machinery out here on this uppermost deck in order for that to happen. Let's pull up our little bubble. Contains machinery for 3 of Britannic's first class elevators. Titanic and Olympics only went up to A deck. Britannic's went all the way up to boat deck. A 4th elevator for first class was installed amidships. And this little pole right here, you can see the wires going up. We're standing on top of the Marconi shack. And this is where the wires are going out to. So let's go ask some more. Here we've got this is the dome for the grand staircase, or the cover for the grand staircase. So we can go aft some more. And of course, the compass platform that Olympic and Titanic both had. It was the most magnetically neutral spot on Olympic and Titanic. Let's pull up our little bubble. Platform offered a high place centered on the ship from which readings could be taken on the compass, free from the heavy magnetic interference of the ship's steel. This cowl vent right here was not on Olympic and Titanic, at least. Well, let me check. Yes, it was. This was on Olympic and Titanic. A centrifugal fan driven by a motor was inside the casing. This particular one exhausted air from the first class lounge. Let's see. To provide more light for what may have been operating rooms below, several skylights were added to the raised roof. Let's get rid of that. Okay, and again, here we can see lifeboats lined up all the way on the port side. Again, these would not have been on the ship in her passenger mode. Oh, no, the lights are coming on. Another modification, well, let's see what this one is. These winches were installed only for use when the Welland boats, for use with the Welland boats and davits. They were not intended for the RMS design. This right here, you see this wall right here? This was not on Olympic and Titanic, and neither was this roof. So we go to the starboard side and look at the bubble. This room contained lift machinery for a 4th first-class elevator that was amidships. Now, somewhere right around here, Britannic also had an extra expansion joint that Olympic and Titanic did not have. So, and there it is right here. Or is it this one? We see there's another one forward, but it was further aft. First class gymnasium. Oh, that reminds me, we have to backtrack. So we go on over to the starboard side. And for those with kiddos, Britannic now features a playroom for kids. So all this right here, you see this room here? You can enter the forward grand staircase by touching this door. We're not going to touch the door because we don't want to go inside yet. But this room right here was going to be a playroom. On Olympic and Titanic, this room did not exist at all. This is open deck space on Olympic and Titanic. And when I built my model there, I had to order a custom 3D printed piece from a company called Shapeways that 3D printed this for that conversion. And I essentially had to break up the pieces that came with the kit and attach the Shapeways piece in order to exactly replicate this entire section of the ship right here. It was fun. Real fun. All right, so we got an expansion joint here. Okay, yeah, so this is the new expansion joint. It's a feature of Britannic. It cut between the lounge and the reading room. So yeah, this expansion joint was not on Olympic and Titanic. So now let's work our way aft. We stopped here earlier. This is, again, the machine housing for the fourth first class lift that Olympic and Titanic did not have. Ozzy, is that a green light on the starboard? I think it's the Northern Lights, Ozzy. Yeah, there you go. Now, let's see. Yeah, so as a hospital ship, Britannic had a very different paint scene from her intended RMS livery. One aspect of this was the dark mast dado painted all around the boat deck, even on the davits and the machinery. Let's go back to daytime a minute so we can you can see better what they're talking about by this dark mast. The Aurora, or a nice touch. Welcome, Eric. How are you? We're definitely going to see her at night some more, Aaron. Don't worry about that. So the dark mast that they're talking about, you see, is like this rusty looking paint that's going up and down the bulwark right here. You can notice the gantry davits are painted in the same color. Is that gantry davit moving? No, that's just the clouds. And that's another thing that is unique to Britannic. If you notice the bulwark is going all the way from the front of the boat deck to the back of the boat deck. You see, it never stops. So let's go around and get around these lifeboats, and we can see, it doesn't stop at all. See, going all the way up to the bridgeway. As we know, Olympic and Titanic did not have that. And after Titanic sank in Olympic's 1913 refit, they completely removed that center bulwark and lined the entire boat deck with lifeboats. Now, let's go further aft a bit. Now this is, let's look at this for a minute too. You see this this base here at the bottom of the gantry davit. So gantry davit motor house. These structures contain the motors and reels for operating the girder arms and lowering the lifeboats. All of the forward gantry davits had this machine house pretty much underneath the gantry davits. There is an exception though. If we come back here, you can see the aftmost gantry davit here. The machine house is not here. So if you ever wondered what this housing is right here, and you see one over there on the port side, these are the machine houses for the aftmost gantry davits. And on my model, I had to scratch build these using plastic that I bought from the hobby shop. Now up here you can see, so we've got the second class entrance is right here on the back side, as opposed to the sides. If you remember on Olympic and Titanic, it was on the sides here. On Britannic, they changed it, and you've got double doors here on the back side. Now let's see. Okay, so let's go up here. And here we go. Elevator gear house contains the lift equipment for second class. So yeah, lots and lots of modifications. These two cowl vents, I believe, were in a different position. Let's see. Yeah, actually, I don't even see those on Titanic there. So those were in addition to Britannic. Now, here's another thing that's different. You can see they've extended the stairways. Well, you got stairs here. The stairway was not on Titanic, but was added to Britannic for hospital service. It's possible that this stairway was not intended for passenger service. So let's see, what does this one say? Yep, Gantry Davitt Motor House, like we talked about. Let's go down onto B deck. So Britannic was intended to have sliding doors to the palm courts. Olympic and Titanic had that. But the hospital ship conversion took place before these could be installed. Instead, a simple hinged door was placed on the starboard side. So I would imagine the palm courts would have had the sliding doors had she in her passenger configuration. This room is used for ventilation fans. Due to changes on Britannic, this room was very different from Titanic and Olympic, with half-size vents and altered window positions. Yeah, so they're talking about the palm court again. And Britannic would have had the Cafe Parisien right here in the same spot that it would have been on Titanic. Within these windows is the significantly redesigned first-class smoking room. The oddly shaped torpedo vents above provided massive ventilation for the accumulator room. All right, let's go look at the stern real quick. And afterwards, oh yeah, and this is something in the game. I don't know if this was in real life or not. I'm going to assume it was. But you had these tarps covering up part of the well deck. And they have that, and it only happens in the evening. And on the forward well deck, it's all covered up as well with a tarp. But of course, here's one of the most obvious differences to Britannic. Let's go to the well deck. The well deck, you can see, it doesn't dip down. You actually have a roof on the well deck, and this was like a promenade for third-class passengers. Now, this remained the same on Britannic as it did Olympic and Titanic. You know, you had the two separate cargo hatches in the on the well deck. I would imagine, just like the forward deck, they had to be raised higher because you have a roof here on the well deck. Fourth expansion joint was added after Britannic's aft well deck was enclosed in order to offset the additional rigidity created by this structure. And here's all the green lights they were talking about earlier that line up the boat deck, or B deck specifically. I mean, they go all the way around. And let's see, what does this one say? Okay. Now, of course, this unidentified structure was a temporary addition to HMHS Britannic and may have had something to do with the morgue. This is the morgue on Britannic. Located far from accommodations was Britannic's morgue, built exclusively for the ship's hospital service. So yeah, in her passenger mode, the morgue would obviously not be there, and this room would not be there either. Capstan control valves used to operate the 4 capstans on this deck. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the vast majority of the differences on the outside, let's go have a look inside for a few minutes. It was a couple of beds, and the thing with this game, it's not quite as detailed as Honor and Glory, so that may not be exactly how or what was actually in the morgue. I wouldn't think, even in 1912, they wouldn't have just had beds in a morgue. The Australian King. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Okay, forward grand staircase. So here we are. They put us right here, and this would be, this spot right here would be where Honor and Glory would be. And you can see they are not there because this is in her hospital mode. Now, on Britannic also, this was unique to Britannic. Right here, you can see Britannic's pipe organ was removed during her wartime service, which is why it survives today. The casing, however, was still plainly visible. So yeah, Britannic would have had a pipe organ right here. So that's why, and you can see how far it extends out. So that's why A deck on Britannic right here looks a bit smaller than what it did on Olympic and Titanic. But they kept the dome in place, as you can see. I was trying to find a Titanic live stream, but I found this. Well, I'm glad you found us. Last month, I was doing Titanic the whole month long, Australian. If you like, you can go into the onto the channel and you can find all those live streams. They are available, at least the replays are. So yeah, let's go back up. Actually, let's stay here for a second. So this is A deck. And remember, on Olympic and Titanic, the lifts did not go higher than A deck. So they stop right here. But let's go to the boat deck. And we go up to boat deck. And here we are. Here's the lifts. So Olympic and Titanic did not go this high. This was one floor high. Now, of course, over here, this would be the first class, or the gym right here. This would be the gym. And if we go to the other side, we can look inside what would have been the playroom on Britannic that Olympic and Titanic did not have. Watching this at WWE at the same time. Well, I will try my best to be as entertaining as WWE. So yeah, this would have been the playroom on Britannic. And again, on Olympic and Titanic, this was open deck space. This room did not exist. Let's go down and look at the swimming pool, because Steve and I were talking about Britannic's pool before I started the live stream. So I wanted to check that out real quick. Okay, so it's pretty bare bones. It looks a lot like Olympic and Titanic's, if we're being honest. Due to Britannic's double bottom being raised, the casing extends up into the pool area. The outer walkway that was present on both Titanic and Olympic was removed to accommodate this. So yeah, it really looks very similar to Olympic and Titanic's pool. So, having said all of that, let's go and look at we're going to do essentially, imagine basically like a drone view of the ship. So let's go. Oh, I would imagine it does, King. Okay, HMS exterior, free cam. This will essentially be like we're hovering around the ship in a plane or flying a drone. So now we get a nice bird's eye view of all the changes that we looked at so far. There's the forward well deck. You can see the much bigger hatch, which that was also a 3D printed piece I ordered from Shapeways to get that right. And that was a whole lot of modification as well. Filing down parts, attaching the Shapeways pieces to existing parts, and so forth and so on. If Milan sees this, it's going to bring back some memories for him too. And you see these bars or grating, I'm not sure what the right word is, going from side to side, and then you got this long one from front to back. That is the tarp that I was talking about earlier. When it gets into the evening time, the whole forward well deck is going to be covered with this giant white tarp. Excuse me. This is a bow right here, Australian. I was talking about some of the modifications to the bow before you got here. So Olympic and Titanic did not have this giant cargo hatch right here. They had two separate ones, but you can see they're all joined as one thing here with the two roofs. So that is Britannic's bow. And again, from the breakwater forward, this Britannic very much is like Olympic and Titanic. I don't see any changes in that section that really stand out to me. You just subscribe. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Australian. Welcome to the channel. I do live streams like this every Friday evening at 7 o'clock U.S. Central Time. So, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you with us. So, of course, here's the gantry davits. And again, there's that machine housing right here, forward of the grand staircase dome that housed the lift machinery for first class. Is it because I finally someone will do something about my favorite things, old history? Well, my channel is all about history, Australian. So you are in the right place if you're here for history. So again, we've got a nice view here, and we can see much better from this angle. See, the bulwark extends all the way from the bridge wing to the end of the boat deck. Did not have that on Olympic and Titanic. Britannic, again, would not have had all these Welland davits in her passenger mode. In passenger mode, she would have only had the gantry davits. Now, this is something I forgot to mention when we were on A deck. You see right here, you got this little piece of the side that dips down. Then you've got it again here, and then here, and then here. If you notice, all the columns for the gantry davits line up with those spots. So these were extra support for the gantry davits, and both sides have that. And there we can see the two machine houses here on port and starboard. That was the machine housing for the aft gantry davits. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. Let's go up here, back to the front section for a minute. Okay, it's not on the forward davit. I thought it was... I thought they had one of them on the forward davit, but I guess not. Let's go back aft. And actually, they have one right down here in the water. Britannic had some motorboats, and you can see clearly one right here. There were two for sure. There might have been more, but I know for sure there were two of them. And I mentioned Milan earlier. That's one thing. He did the same conversion to the Titanic kit that I did, and his is a bit more accurate than mine because he actually put the motorboats onto his gantry davits. I did not do that because I tried once and I ended up breaking one of the davits, and the company went out of business that I bought the davits from. So if I damaged them, that was it. There was nothing else I could do. It was just gone. So I sacrificed a little accuracy for the sake of not destroying the gantry davits. And here we go. There's the morgue we talked about. And the ship's lighting up. She's putting her lights on. So let's get it. Yep. And you can see there's the green lights on B deck going all the way across the ship. And of course, she's got the two big red crosses up there on the boat deck. And the red cross right there. Take care, King. We'll see you next time. Now let's get a wide shot of Britannic all lit up at night. There we go. Look at that. So even in her hospital mode, she's absolutely gorgeous at night. And there's that tarp. You can see that tarp on the forward well deck I was talking about. Yeah, look at that. It's so gorgeous. Look at those lights. Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to bring that. There we go. No, Loyalists, we're not going to do the sinking this time. But rest assured, come November, every year we do the anniversary of the sinking for Britannic. And when that time comes, we will do the sinking. We did do it last year. If you want, you can go check out the previous live streams, and you can find where we did last year's. And there's those northern lights again. The moonlight, yep. Honestly, Anna, I have to admit, I do not know what purpose the tarps served. I'm not sure what they were for. And look at a little side view of Britannic. Look at that. I heard the pool was a thing that was open. She was a hospital ship. And what other passenger? The pool was opened, but they did use the pool in the hospital configuration. But it was bare bones, like it was not decorated or anything like that. But the pool was there, and they did use it. That's the only passenger amenity that I am aware of that was in use when the ship was in service. And speaking of which, let's see. Why was the tarp over the well? Yeah, I honestly, Eric, I do not know. So having done that, let's take a look at her, how she should have been. Let's go to the forward grand staircase and see how Britannic would have looked in her passenger mode. The only Britannic movie was dumb. Also, no, when the big U funnel was being removed. I have not heard anything about when the funnels for the SS United States are being removed. As soon as they do, though, believe me, I will be there. There is no good Britannic movie. You're correct. That Britannic movie that came out in the early 2000s was absolute trash. There is a documentary that is half decent that is available on Tubi right now. You can watch it. It's called The Mystery of Britannic, and it came out in 2018. It's the only somewhat decent thing I've ever seen about Britannic. And look at that beautiful, look at this, guys. Look at that. How Britannic should have been. That big pipe organ. And there's Honor and Glory on Britannic. Crowning time. But yeah, that documentary is called The Mystery of Britannic. It's the only somewhat decent thing I've ever seen about Britannic. Although, and I might be remembering this wrong, but there was one point, the guy who's like, and here's Britannic's Playroom, by the way. The guy that was featuring in it or starring in it was also the narrator. And I seem to remember him saying that the open portholes had no effect on whether or not the ship sunk. He was very dismissive of that. And he did not do a good job of convincing me of that. I have always believed that the open portholes played a major factor in the sinking of the ship. And again, he did not do anything to convince me otherwise. Aaron, what? Oh my goodness. Go out to dinner or something. Okay. Aaron, thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. Wow. I think that's the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. Wow. Oh my goodness. Aaron, thank you so much. Wow. I'm wow. I don't know what else to say. Wow. Thank you so much for that, my friend. I really appreciate that. I'm totally got sidetracked now. Let's see, May 15th, 1919. So again, this is if Britannic would have never sunk. And here we are. Now you see all the lifeboats are gone. All the lifeboats with the well and davits are gone. We have a bulwark lining the whole forward, front to back of the ship. American Lois, weren't the Britannic movie 2000 had passengers on board? Yeah, they did. If I remember correctly. I've never actually seen the movie. I've only ever seen clips of the movie, and it was trash from what I remember. Yeah. Aaron, please, everyone, show Aaron some love for that. I can't thank you enough for that, Aaron. I'm blown away. But let's. So here we go. Let's go down into. I'm gonna show you guys what the swimming pools looked like. Or what they would have looked like in passenger mode. So let's go down to the swimming area. James works hard. He deserves it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, guys, here is Britannic's pool. Looks a bit different now, doesn't it, in passenger mode? It's way more decorated than Olympic and Titanic. If you remember how it looked in hospital mode earlier, that's essentially how Olympic and Titanics would have looked. But in Britannic, it's way more decorated and nice looking. And let's see, we've got a bubble here. Due to Britannic's double bottom, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we read that earlier. Yeah, all the tiling, the paneling. But there's another bubble over here that I remember. Let's go read this one. Excuse me. After the underwhelming reaction to Olympic and Titanic's pool, Britannic's pool was more elaborately decorated and gives the feel of a Roman or medieval bathhouse. And as nice as this one looks, guys, if you've ever seen what Vaterland's looks like, you guys know I love my Olympians, but Vaterland's swimming pool smokes this. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but I hate to admit it, but it's true. Now, here's this watertight door is closed, so we can not go into Britannic's Turkish bath. And we are blocked off here from going up the stairs on E deck right here. So we've got about 5 minutes left. Now, you guys want to see something drop dead gorgeous? Let's do this. RMS Britannic exterior. How she would have looked. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Man. And there's her name in gold, as it should be. And let's do a little sweeping view of the ship. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier. In hospital mode, the walls around the compass platform were only about the width of like 2 or 3 of these center windows. In passenger mode, you can see it extends over the whole bridge roof. And there's that white star buff on the funnels. The gantry davits are painted in white. And even in this mode, I know people who rag on the gantry davits, but she still looks amazing. She just looks so clean. And look at that. She did have cutters, just like Olympic and Titanic had, that would be swung out like this when she was at sea. These were there in case of any type of emergency. And look at that. There's the motorboat. I remember they had motorboats on the forward, but it's in passenger mode, not in hospital mode. Cruise ships today are just not the same. No, they are not, Anna. H forgotten. They are ugly. A huge hotel on a blah hull to me. Hotel by the water with anemones is fine to me. Cruise ships now have no class. Look at that. Yeah, cruise ships now are made just to make money. Yeah. Well, the thing though is these ships were made to make money too. It was just they knew how to build ships back then. Knew how to build good-looking ships back then. Nothing today looks like this. I mean, look at that. Even with the gantry davits, she is still amazing looking. And look on here, they have the deck chairs lined out there on B deck. And absolutely elegant, right? Don't thank me. She's doing all the work for us just by looking absolutely stunning. And look at that. No morgue. It's gone. You see her docking bridge was much higher because she had these two housings right here on starboard and port. And I do admit I do not know what was in those, but you can see her docking bridge is much higher. Olympic and Titanic's docking bridge was essentially down here on the poop deck. It would have been about this high. She's got a whole higher level. Oh, we're getting into dusk. We are not leaving without seeing RMS Britannic at night. do like a little sweeping view here. Look at that. So yeah, we're not gonna, we're at an hour, but we're gonna hang on here until it gets nighttime and we see her lights come on, because you guys, for those of you that have not seen this before, you don't want to miss this. He's up on the top deck by the all-night bar when the rest of the ship was mostly sleeping. Oh, you've been on a cruise ship too, Anna. Yeah, I've experienced also exactly what you're talking about. I stayed up late one night at the bar area too. Here we're at dusk. I wish she was sailing though, instead of just stationary like this. We're gonna get those nice northern lights. So before we wrap this up, I want to know everyone's favorite Olympian. Put in the chat what your favorite Olympian is. Is it Olympic? Is it Titanic? Is it Britannic? Or do you have a favorite? It's okay if you don't, but if you have a favorite, I want to know which one it is. Any minute, her lights are going to come on. Aaron says Olympic. Anna, that's not a fair question. Of course it's a fair question. You don't have to pick a favorite. I'm just wondering, if you do have a favorite, what is it? And her lights are coming on. There we go. So there she is, all lit up. And Titanic was my first love, first SS and first wreck. She started all. I think that's the same for a lot of us, Anna. I joke that Titanic, for us who are ship nerds, Titanic is the gateway drug. You know, it's the one that gets us into all of this stuff. Too hard to guess for me, Olympic, yet it's all three. Yeah. Some days it's Titanic because like Anna, Titanic was my first love, but I've learned so much about Olympic that I've come to appreciate Olympic just as much. So some days it's Titanic, some days it's Olympic. But there she is, guys, Britannic, all lit up at night. So who wants to go take a stroll down A deck before we wrap this up? Let's go walk the A deck promenade. Here we go. We're going down in the A deck. Look at that. And A deck, let's go. We're walking A deck. I'll let you put your top hat on, right? They are all unique in their own way, even though they are sisters. All three ships were very unique in their own way. So here we are. You're going to make me put on a long dress. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Everyone, we are dressed in our best, but we are not going down. Not tonight. We are enjoying what would have been the RMS Britannic. You'll be the lady walking around in a gown. You don't plan on throwing a diamond off the stern of the ship, do you, Age? And look, at night in passenger mode, she does not have the tarp on the well deck. So here we go. Let's go down A deck promenade. walking down Britannic at night. There you go. It's not complete until you go promenading on an Olympic class ship. But there we have it. There's Britannic, all lit up and just looking amazing. All right. So, guys, there we have it. All with the aurora lights on. Just stunning. So there we have it. Comparing Britannic to her sisters, looking at all of the differences, and all those differences I pointed out externally are on that model right there. And like I said, it took me a better part of a year to get that thing complete. So, having said that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream this week. This ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I really enjoyed doing this and chatting with you guys about the differences here with Britannic. Content schedule, of course, is as follows. All times are U.S. Central Time. The daily shorts, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. The video of the week every Friday morning, 7 a.m. And our weekly 1-hour live streams are 7 p.m. And that is going to wrap us up for this week. So hope you guys enjoyed it and hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. For all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a great Mother's Day. And yeah, that's it. Until the next time, you guys know the drill. Drive safely.